Hello, hello. It's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. I'm back. I'm looking up the list to see who I've got so far already. I am a psychic medium and a spiritualist reverend, and most of the people that come here know me already. So um, I am doing readings today, and 30%, as always, is going to be donated to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Hello, Allie. I hope you're well. I'm just going to get the list real quick. I've got Mallory, and I'll type these up there. Nicole and Allie for 2. How have you been, Miss Allie? I don't know what I'm doing here. I guess if you want to start with your questions, you can. I haven't been up to too much other than momming, and was at a camporee for Girl Scouts all day. Hi, Mariana. All day yesterday, and we went hiking outside, and it was cold, but we bundled up. It was a lot of little silly, giggly little girls, but they got lots of fresh air. My kids crashed when we got home. So, hi, Mallory. Can you tell me what your friend's name is? Ryan. Okay. You know, what's funny is, Mariana, you said you missed the Girl Scout days where girls are, I was trying to convince my one daughter. I was like, oh, did you pay? I'll check. And I was like, if you go through high school, you can get scholarships for college. And not that that's the only way, but any little bit always helps. I mean, yours didn't pop up yet, but that doesn't mean it won't. So I will add you. It's not here yet. That's okay. No apologies. Okay. So we want to know about Ryan, and then Allie. Did you write your question or did you wait? You waited. I learned something today. I learned a lot of little things here and there. Is Stephen mad at you? You feel like he's mad at you. Okay. So I always hold this smoky quartz when I do readings. I call it my comfort rock. And I don't usually think about how I'm holding it, but I guess naturally when I go to hold it with the, I don't know what this is called. I'm calling it the pointy end. I'm going to get really technical. So flat end, pointy end. So apparently when you're holding these shape, I forget what they're called. So who cares? Like I don't know if there's scepters or something technical. If you hold it pointing away from you, you want the energy to move out and not be coming into you. But if you hold it pointed towards you, then you want the energy coming into you. So if I was receiving a healing or whatever, but since this is to help with negative energy, and again, something has power if you give it power. So to each their own what they choose that talisman to be. So I hold it this way naturally. I thought, oh, well, that's interesting because I usually do hold it kind of out and away from me. That's all I wanted to share. I thought that was interesting. And I've talked about the left and right hands, the receiving and the giving and all of that before. All right. No, done with my rambling. Okay. And my 5-year-old or my 6-year-old, she's 6 now. She's in kindergarten and she's a daisy. And my other one is a junior. She's in 4th grade. And they happened to be that their schedules lined up pretty much. The only thing that the groups didn't do together like in the same area was a hike. They kind of went on their own little hike. So my little one went with her group and I stay with my older daughter's group because I typically do everything with my younger daughter and then leave my older one behind. And it's good for her to get a little bit more independence. But it was just funny because then like there was points where I was like, are you going to hang out with your group? Or because she kept hanging out, my little one kept hanging out with her older sister and her older sister's friends. And it was cute. And one of the other moms and her daughter rode with us. And like we dropped them off. It was 8:00 at night. I picked him up at 8:00 in the morning. And she was like, I need a hug from her. And I'm not going to say her name out of like privacy, but it was just really funny because she like had to like come running down her stairs from her house to get my little one a hug. She's like, I need to get out of the car and hug her. So it was a good day. It was a good day. Okay. All right. Mallory. Okay, let's go. So the way I'm feeling is like I was asking about the experience of the weekend in you in Boston. So this is going to kind of feed into what you're doing or what your question is. And I just kept seeing like little cartoony hearts, like, when they draw, like if there's like a rom-com, and I can't think of a movie that does this, and then they have like the little cartoon character that comes out like to express the emotions. It's just like this little cute little hearties everywhere. So it feels like it was a really good weekend. And had by all, like I feel like he enjoyed it as much as you do. So I said, is there a romantic future? And I heard immediately, absolutely. But things that start out slower. And it's just, the reticence because of the distance and kind of figuring out how that all is going to work. But yeah, I think there is something there. I heard something about 6 months, so I don't know if it becomes more serious in 6 months and it's sort of just a little bit back and forth. I almost feel like he's going to be coming to Michigan, but I feel like there's a business aspect to it, like that he travels to Michigan for something. Today I'm choosing to drink bone broth because I need extra protein because I can't manage to eat enough of it. He wants to come this summer. Okay, that's not 6 months, so that's good. So maybe that means June. But has he mentioned traveling for business or there being a job aspect to coming to Michigan? He has come to Michigan for work before, so maybe again, yes. Okay, I feel that you're going to see him before the summer, for something. So I'm asking about his job because I'm like curious. Would he go to Michigan? I feel like whatever he does, he's better off being on the coast, like on the East Coast. I even because when I just said that, I was like West, and I was like, no. It just feels like whatever he does, it feels like he needs to be in like a bigger city. So, but not even like Chicago. So it just feels like needing to be on the East Coast. Hi, Jess. Thank you for the like. But I do feel like it'll work out. He's in insurance. His family is in Boston. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there's something to that. I have to say that, like, if one of you moves, I feel like it's you moving there, not the other way around. So Jess, these are paid readings here. If you want to get free readings, I'm going to start. I haven't done them in a little bit, but I'm going to start doing free readings again over on TikTok. But those aren't guaranteed. So I just kind of like, so if your name pops up and whatever, it's like if I'm drawn to it kind of thing, then I'll give readings there. But here they're guaranteed. And then I'm also going to be starting, I just have to get it put up in my website, where I do message circles on Zoom for people. So it's like 8 people. I don't want to do too many more than that, because then it takes a long time for me to give everybody a reading. So that's what I'm doing. But they're paid. It's $12. 30% goes to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. So that's what I feel. You offered to come there for a few days for my spring break at the end of March. I feel like it's going to work. I just feel like in his head right now, he's trying to figure out the logistics. Like, he feels like a planner. So it feels like he's trying to figure out the logistics of it all and being long distance and all of that. Okay. So was it a good weekend? I'm guessing it was, if you're planning all of that. Mariana, are you mind over mileage? You too. Oh, good. It was a great weekend. Good. Excellent. Okay. So Allie, if you want to go, Nicole, if you want to ask. Oh wait, Allie, you asked. Sorry, and then Nicole, if you want to go ahead and type yours. Allie said, "Is Stephen mad at you?" He's not mad at you. I just feel like he's moody. And he's not really good at, like, processing whatever's going on. And he brings it around with him. Let me see, Nicole, if I see yours. I don't see yours, Nicole. I saw your payment. I didn't see your question. Oh, wait, there it is. My test is on Saturday. Do you still see me passing? Should I handle this week? Also stressed with work. Okay. So, Allie, does that make sense? Or does that resonate when I say that? Oh, because it's confusing. Sometimes he's good to me and sometimes he's not. And I'm thinking, you're not the issue. I think it's him. And I think, honestly, especially when you're kind of a sensitive being, I mean, if you want to go along the lines of the law of assumption, right? So whatever your beliefs are, they have to be. If you believe he's mad at you, you create that story in your head. You don't know if it's true or not. So I don't know. Most of the time people are not upset with you when you think they are. And when they are, and if they're not willing to come to you, it's like, write it off, because that's a huge red flag in and of itself there. Like if someone's genuinely mad at you and we're adults and they aren't adult enough to come and have that conversation with you, yeah, they may have their issues. And I'm not saying like, oh, there's not a reason why they would do that. It's so rude, blah, blah, blah. It's just, if they're not willing to do that, that's a big red flag. Because if you have a relationship with someone and they can't talk to you, or they refuse to talk to you about something when it comes up and refuse to address an issue, even if it's hard and even if it doesn't feel good and they don't want to deal with it, that's not really great and conducive for a relationship. So no, I don't think my sense was that he's not mad at you. And it's okay to be sensitive. So I want to say that, like, I'm not like, oh, you're just too sensitive, toughen up. Cause I've heard that a million times in my life. And I'm like, well, if I wasn't so sensitive, I wouldn't be doing this. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you know that you're sensitive and you know that, your default is to think that you did something wrong, you sort of have to reprogram that and just recognize it's not. You don't care too much, but it seems like you're more worried about how they perceive you in your worth and your value than how you perceive your own worth and your value. And I'm not saying that from judgment. I've been exactly in the space that you are, where I'm like, they don't like me. What did I do? Now, I genuinely miss social cues sometimes. And I've done something offensive, not like weird or like inappropriately offensive, but like maybe I give somebody some energy information and they don't want it. Or I'm very direct in my communication, like very direct. I don't know how to beat around the bush. Hi, Heaven Insights. It's $12 for a question, and I donate 30% of it to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. And every dollar that gets donated there provides for 3 meals. So I feel like that's my way to give back a little. He was really tired, and I know I can be cranky too. So yeah, like if you're genuinely like, I mean, thank you for inquiring. I don't know. I found that once I started deciding that like most of the stuff that people are going through has nothing to do with me, and it's usually whatever they're dealing with, it takes a lot of pressure off of your experience in life. Okay. I'll probably still be here in 5 minutes. So that's my sense, is that he's not mad at you. It's just, he's just having something else going on, and it's hard for him to disconnect from that. I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing when I'm at work, or when I used to work as a nurse. I didn't bring my personal stuff to work, because my patients didn't need that and my coworkers didn't need that, and I couldn't focus enough on my patients. So there was one day when it was my grandmother's memorial service, and I couldn't go to it. It's a long story. It was just I didn't know if I'd have a job in 2 weeks because I was working contract work, and I was like, I can't just drop a couple $1,000s on a last minute plane ticket and car. And she was like, funerals are really for like the people still here. And I was okay with her passing, and she was older. And anyway, but my sister kept calling me at work, like sobbing, and like my sister's very dramatic in her expressions of grief. She's, and I was like in the medication room, like, I cannot do this. I cannot talk to you anymore today because I have to work. Like, I have to be focused on my patients 100%. So I don't know. Maybe he just can't. It's not hard. It's not easy for everybody to do that. So I don't get the sense that he's doing that. Hi, Joelle. Certainly. Anyway, enough of my rambling. If you want to ask another question, Mariana, what's your question? And Nicole, while Mariana's writing, I will answer yours. You're asking about your test. All right, lady. So I still feel like you're going to pass. That wasn't the question. I was just trying to figure out the other part of like, what should you do to help you out through the week? And I feel like as far as the test goes, it literally will be just, I feel like you learn more when you write something out. So like just reading it doesn't make it stick in your brain. You need that tactile part of it. So it feels like if you just keep taking tests over and over or writing the stuff down that you're struggling with, that doesn't come to you so quickly. But I feel like you will pass. It's literally just they're like, it's mind over matter at this point. So it's literally like when you walk in, instead of being like, oh my God, what if I forgot that? What if I forgot this? It's like, no, I did what I need to do to study. I feel like you're doing really well. Passing like a practice exam. So if you have like a book full of practice exams or something like that. So I had that for my NCLEX. And it feels like you're doing fine with that. I saw an 84. So it's like you're passing and you're doing fine with it. And it feels like those are actually harder than the tests that you're going to take. When I took my NCLEX, the practice tests were way harder than the NCLEX itself. I actually felt like the NCLEX was a lot of common sense. Like, it seemed like common sense to me. Okay, Allie. And it feels like just telling yourself like, okay, I've done the best that I can do. Now I just need to take the test and see how it goes. I think yours is more of like, there's a aspect of beating yourself up in the moment of like, oh my God, and psyching yourself out. And it's really just like, no, you're fine. You can do this. You're smart. You're not a ding dong. You make good choices. So it feels like keep doing the practice test throughout the week. Don't like smother yourself, but do it. Do some every night and put yourself in that mindset. And maybe even you can do as you fall asleep at night, like right before you fall asleep, like visualize coming on here and being like, I passed, I did great, it was so amazing, or I passed the flying colors, whatever it is. It feels like set that into your brain. But you're okay. Just don't psych yourself out. Have more confidence in yourself. That's easy said, right? Okay. I'm getting antsy about wanting to move abroad and would like this to happen by next year. Not sure if I can get all of the financials aligned to do that and either get a new job to work remotely from another country, get my current job to allow me to do it abroad. I feel like the financials are going to be less than what you're expecting. And I feel like you're going to work for a company abroad, not a United States company. Hi, Kay. You can donate. Sure, no problem. That's okay, Nicole. So I feel like you're going to actually get a job. It might be a company that's based abroad and has offices here. Oh, thank you. I've killed enough of them. These are the latest ones. This one kept losing leaves and I realized we needed more sunlight. So this just comes in for when I'm in here, and then I put it out in my entryway so it gets more sunlight out there. I was about to call it a she, but I think it might be a he. I don't know. He needed more light. And I need to water that one. I need to water them both. I feel like it'll be fine. I do feel like you need to start looking soon. And yes, you can. Okay, no problem. You can donate. It could be for whoever, but sometimes plants have one energy over the other, and trees too. I don't know. And when I wanted to say she, I kept feeling, no, I'm supposed to say he. I don't know why they want to look soon, but it feels like that's what they said. That's what I heard. Start looking soon. um, everything is energy and carries energy, and we're all really from source. Mm. I'm leaning towards next year, but it may be that you start working for this company this year because they have offices here in the United States, and then you move abroad because they also like they're based out of I heard UK, but I feel like it might be somewhere else. But they're based out of Europe, and then maybe they're based out of UK and they have offices in Europe and then one here and maybe one in LA. But I feel like the move will be next year, but the job may be this year. If the move is this year, it's at the very end of the year. And also with the less money, I didn't think that you would be complaining about having to, get your little nest egg be a little bit smaller than you think. Okay, I'll check. So Allie, did you ask a second question yet? That would be amazing if you would send me a photo of your cat. You can email it if you want to annalisa@myspiritualfriend.com. That might be the easiest. And Annalisa's, well, it's my first and middle name. It's actually I just have it as one because I don't know. I didn't think enough to put those space. Okay. Allie says, a few days ago, I've been trying my best to figure out. You're welcome, Mariana. I've been trying my best to figure out what's wrong with me internally, and I realized that I didn't have an open heart. It's protecting yourself, and I think I lack a lot of trust to do so, which keep me away from things and people. I'm not sure, but through this realization, I felt so weird tingling. And I wonder if it has to do with anything of my opening heart and solar plexus chakra, or maybe my guides can say something about it. Thank you, Heaven Insights. Okay, so Allie, yes, and yes. When I know for me, when I've done a lot of growth and changing, it's not because it's like I built a building, you know what I mean? Like where you feel like energetically you've done that. It's like where you leave it open to ponder, well, why do I do this? Why am I blocked? What's going on? And the universe will start bringing you information either through what feels like just contemplative thoughts or a big awareness moment or a meditation or a conversation with somebody or a video that comes up. But you get answers if you just post the question to the universe, right? Pose it. So yes, I think you're spot on. Absolutely. And the tingling part is like, so once you're aware of it, it's like, oh, that's why, well, duh. So I had an awareness where it was like, okay, why am I blocking myself from like, why do I, that worthiness from being seen and feeling like what I have to offer is valuable and the information I have to offer is valuable? Like, why do I not post more videos and do more stuff? So the universe was like, I just was like sitting there, and all of a sudden I had this awareness that, like, when I was in college, I gave my mom a gift, and it was not a, like, it was baby washcloths. So I'll just tell you so you understand. Like, and she had asked for thin washcloths because she really needs something thinner for washing her ears. And I had this like epiphany, like, baby washcloths, they're really thin and they're really soft. That wasn't the only gift I gave her, but I did give it to her. And my sisters and my mom just railed on me for it. Like, what a stupid gift, how like silly it was, blah, blah, blah. And then like once I had a job, I gave better gifts. I was very conscientious about it. I was like, I'll like only like I bought them all Coach purses one year because that was like a big deal. I remember Coach purses, like everybody wanted one. And my one sister was like, like she took it back. She didn't like it. And she was really disrespectful about it. So it was like, but I got this awareness of like, oh, like it didn't matter what I was giving and what I was offering, it wasn't good enough. And I was going to be made fun of for it. So I was like, oh, that's very interesting how you aren't necessarily told you're not worthy, you're not valuable. You're not necessarily like, some event doesn't necessarily happen where it's like obvious that this happens. But then I was like, oh, well, that makes sense why I would feel like I don't have something to offer, because the people that should have been, you know, and I know like, oh, your family can be mean, your sisters, your siblings can be hard on you, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, but at a point when they're older than you and you're in college, and like, why are you making fun of things? Like, grow up. That's my thing of it. And to this day, my mother still uses those washcloths. Not the same ones. She buys new ones. But so it wasn't a dumb gift after all. It was a practical gift, and it wasn't an expensive gift, but because I didn't have a lot of money. But I gave her some other stuff too. That was the only thing. But point being is like, we look at and we wonder where things happen. And then when you get the aha, you're like, oh, that's not a true story. Like, it's not a true story that you have to be fearful, because of the fact of the matter is you are strong enough and big enough to protect yourself. And maybe you don't trust everybody, and you shouldn't trust everybody, but you can learn to trust yourself and your own intuition and trust the red flags you're seeing. And you can trust that the universe will make sure that you see those red flags, especially if you put that out there as an intention. Like, I always see red flags. Like, I'm always aware of them. I don't ignore them. I, like some relationships, see red flags and did not listen to them. I ignored them. So I saw them as a problem, and I kept barreling through them. You had an awakening and felt it was some memories coming back and a lot. Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like my parent live in fear. Your parents live in fear. And, fear is like such a silly thing. It's like, you think about when you're afraid of something, and it's like either something completely existential that like it may happen, it may not happen. It's like such a strange thing. Or it's like from such, I don't know, it's just, either way, it paralyzes you. And then when you realize like, oh, I didn't have to be afraid of that, because that's A, was never going to happen, or B, like there's always a solution to the problem. Why, you can always, pretty much always find a solution. And like you can sit and worry every day, like, oh my God, maybe I'll get cancer, but maybe you won't. And maybe you wasted all these days. It's like, you can do what you need to do to prevent it as much as you can. But like, to be fearful of it is exhausting, and it takes away from your happiness and your joy. And then you're like actually adding to the chances of getting it. Like, eat well for the most part, exercise, try to get sleep. Yeah, but here's the thing. We get our belief systems from somewhere, right? We just weren't born with them. We get our belief systems, usually starts with our family, and then it starts with society, and it can be with religion. And at a point, like, I don't believe you control everything. Like when people are like, oh, I didn't cause myself to have cancer. I didn't cause this or that. Da, da, da. It's like, well, okay, no, you didn't go out going, I want all of these things. But I do think certain things become a byproduct of dis-ease within ourselves. And beliefs we learned. So yeah, but you don't have to maintain that. So if that fear is, I need to protect myself because I'm going to get attacked if I go out to the car. It's like, my guides always take care of me. I'm always safe. I've got a phone. I know to look and check for, like, I was taught to check for, check under the car before you, like, as you're walking up to the car, to make sure there's nobody underneath the car. Like, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Be afraid all the time kind of stuff. There's so many expectations for women, but we are consistently ignored. And I felt ignored and disrespected. And that's a societal that's our patriarchal society for you. And not to be like, I don't want to be like angry woman, but the fact of the matter is our needs are often disregarded. Our concerns are often disregarded. Oh, you're just being paranoid. Or, you go to the doctor. It's like, oh, that's just part of this. It's like, but what's the solution to it? And most studies in medicine aren't done. The women didn't figure out that women have different symptoms for cardiac events than men until the 90s, because, women's hormones make study results messy. You get better at this? Yeah, you will, for sure. You won't get blocked again, because here's the thing, because you're afraid that you'll get blocked again, because you are aware of now what it feels like to be open and what it feels like to be closed, and you still need to work a little bit on it, but it's like you've taken the big rusty lock off of it. You won't ever be there again. And that's where growth happens, right? So you may close up a little bit, but then look at it a different way and be like, oh, that's interesting. Why would I do that? What's this triggering for me? Our partners in our lives, not just our romantic partners, but family members, friendships, coworkers, will trigger us to help us grow. Not like they're like, I'm here to help you. That's a weird thing. But I just mean, you can let it help you grow, or you can keep yourself stuck. You feel like you're riding a bike for the first time. Well, it's wonderful. Congratulations. I have not ridden a bike in a while, and I wonder if I still can. When I went ice skating with my daughter at the beginning of the year, I was like, I'll go ice skating with you. It's fine. I know ice skate. And I was like, I have not ice skated in as long as she's been alive, at least 10 years. And maybe even probably closer to 13 or 14 years. And I was like, I hope I still can. Hope my bones will hold me up. It's okay. I don't mind. I get weird autocorrect stuff too. And I'm like, why? Okay, so let me move on. Who do I have here? I've got Heaven Insight. Did you emailed it? Let me see. I don't have your picture of your kitty cat yet. Hi, Gia. Sure. I'm still taking questions. It's okay. Let me go back and read all your comments. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to ignore you. I've been really missing my dog lately. He's been on my mind a lot, especially the past 3 days. Connect with Kodak and see what message he has. I've been seeing to him. Oh, okay. Oh, that your bones won't hold you up. That's what scares you. I didn't. Okay, so I grew up in Texas, really, for the most part, and then even when I lived in Wisconsin, like my dad grew up in Chicago, and they weren't skiers or anything like that. So I didn't ever go skiing. I went sledding. I didn't play any. So it's like I can ice skate because I knew how to roller skate. Like wasn't like, and I'm not. I mean, I can go in a circle. Like I don't know, no tricks. I've never broken a bone in my body, and I'm just don't think about it because I just figure it's not going to happen. I'm just going to decide it's not going to happen. Okay, thanks, Gia. Okay, so you want me to connect? I will do Kodak in a minute. Nicole, what's your second question? And I got you, Gia. Ooh, hang on. It's funny, as soon as I like opened your thing, I felt my stomach hurting. So does he have stomach issues? Because you said he has a medical condition. And I wanted to say, like, you told me too much. I wish you wouldn't tell me so much. um, I actually feel like someone has him. I don't feel like he's like lost and on his own. And the fact that you wrote this Carol woman asking he has any medical conditions is suspect for sure. I don't think he was killed or any of that stuff. I feel like he's taken into somebody's home. And I don't know if it's in your complex or if it's in the complex over, but I don't think he's far. He's very cute. I had a kitty when I was little like this, but with the black hair and the little white paws. We named him Kapa. And I don't know if it's her, but I just think that's a suspect thing. Like, why would you said he had medical conditions. I think he's alive. I really do. My sense is not that and I feel like he's being well taken care of. I don't feel like he's getting abused or anything like that. He feels very sweet and lovely and friendly. Um, and it's weird. I feel like you'll have him back, but it's going to be like a weird, like maybe they move out and they can't take him with them. And then like he shows up at your doorstep. It doesn't feel like I'll never see him again. And I don't know if it's that woman or not. I do see a little girl holding him, and he just feels like a when you see the cats and they're just like hanging there, like just like a ball of mush. You were 2 days away from moving when it went missing. Oh, I know you miss him, and so I don't want to. I'm not trying to say like, oh, I do feel like he's with someone. I don't feel like he died or got hit by a car. I feel like he's in a home and like, and he's being taken care of. I don't feel like it's. I feel like he's being loved and taken care of. I do think he feel like he marks his territory there. I feel like he's peed a little bit there. Oh, is he chipped? I say do it, but I don't know that it's her, to be honest with you, because I do see a little girl like petting him and holding him. I can imagine because I mean, I have a bunny now, but when I had a dog and I had to have her put down, I was so heartbroken. So and I've had pets growing up, and I know this sounds weird, but I feel like whoever has him will end up moving out. And I don't know if they have the flyer they kept or whatever that has your number on it, but I feel like it's not a never ever again kind of thing. But it feels like it's a little while. So it'll be like, those videos where you see it's like after 2 years, the dog walked clear across the country. And I don't think your cat's going to do that because, but it feels like maybe they are like, oh, I found this cat and it looks so much like it. Is this your cat? I don't know if I don't think it's the little girl that had him before unless it was their cat. I don't know, but I just see him with a little girl. But I don't feel like I feel like he's well taken care of. I just want to stress that because I don't feel like, oh, he's dead. He got hit by a car. Like I feel like I'm in a warm house. It's not like I'm an outside cat. I feel like I'm in a warm house and I'm taken care of and I'm loved. Um, I kind of do. I kind of feel like they've seen the flyer. Um, and I genuinely my sense is like they don't want to. Their child is so attached. I feel like they don't want to hurt their child. It's very interesting, and I feel like, but I do feel like I don't know. It's like I feel like I keep the flyer. I don't think it's out. I don't think your cat's outside at all. I feel like your cat is inside and warm. And I'm sorry about that. I wish I had a like go to this house at this address with this number and you will see it. I'm not seeing that. I'm literally seeing the inside of the place. So if it's not like where you're at, it feels very close by. Also, that's a huge apartment complex with 28 buildings. It's funny when you're like, I hopefully he's not going through internal stuff. It was interesting because I was like, I felt he was very nomadic and almost like that was part of his journey here in this lifetime for him as a cat, because it seems like going from family to family, bringing healing connections. I'm not seeing the outside of the space. I'm seeing the inside of it. And it feels like I'm in like a darker corner. Like I was like that's what I'm seeing is like the light shining at me, like as if I was taking a picture and I was looking at him. It's like I see him being held by this little girl and the light shining at him. So there's a window behind me, but not inside. And it's if it's not light gray walls, they're like white walls. They're lighter colored walls. No, Julia, you're not too late. And I'm like asking if it's an. Uh, I'm leaning towards it being an upstairs apartment. Okay. Nicole, did you have a second question? And then Allie, did you ever ask your second question? So I'm wishing you well on all of that. You're very welcome. I'm sorry I don't have more. I just don't. And I don't know why. I don't feel like it's completely over with Dave, but I feel like it's petering out for now. I feel like it feels like too much effort for him. And I'm not saying you're too much effort, but there's a lot of guys out there who are bare minimum guys and they don't want to have to work too hard. Like they don't want to be extra. Love coming in for Nicole. I still feel like, first of all, get through this week. Like, take your test and do you. I still feel like an energetic block for you, Nicole. Like, it just feels like really kind of like what Allie was talking about, like feeling afraid, not trusting. Kayanat, I think that's how you say it. These are paid readings. Thank you for subbing and liking. These are $12 a reading, and I donate 30% to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. For every dollar that gets donated, it provides 3 meals. So yeah, if you want to follow me over on TikTok, I do free readings over there, but it's not guaranteed that when I go on, you'll get a reading. It's just kind of whoever I'm drawn to. Whereas here, I answer your readings. Thanks for understanding. So I see it's like, so I first of all, I feel that like this block and that nervousness energy. And it's like, get through this week first. Um, I know you hate hearing this, but it's like, keep telling yourself you're worthy and value. Remember I said, like, why am I not, I kept trying to pose the universe the question of like, why am I not showing up? Or why do I feel so like what I have to share is like, oh, it's not like, I don't necessarily align with what other people align with. And I feel like, oh, nobody's going to value what I have to share because it's not like these gimmicky, quick things. It's really like you have to do the work, and that's not that exciting. And it just feels like you have to pose that question of like, when a man comes forward, why am I like, is he going to like me? Like, why not be like, am I going to like him? Flip the script. Is, you know, excuse my big yawn and that thing. Flip the script. I don't know if this has to do with Dave or not. So I feel like in 2 weeks, something's going to happen. So maybe you see him again in a couple weeks. And it feels like because you become more relaxed of like, whatever, something will come to me no matter what, that things start flowing your way. I don't know that you meet somebody through a dating app or online. It feels different than that. I also feel like in 2 months, it feels more significant. Maybe it's someone new then. And I do feel like you're working on shifting your energy and the way you show up. Because remember, even if you don't show up, like, even if you're like, oh, I look so good, I feel really good. And then in that moment, but if you haven't done the work for like the work, that energy bleeds through. So if you haven't done the stuff where it's like, oh no, I am valuable, I am worthy, I'm enough. Like, of course, this person's going to like me. Am I going to like them? Are they going to show up? You know, are they going to be willing to do the work? I don't want bare minimum. Don't accept bare minimum. Don't beg for bare minimum. Don't scratch for it. Will they like me? Bare minimum guy. You don't want that. Because that's bare minimum for the rest of your life that you're expecting. And like, they're supposed to show up. Remember that. They're supposed to show up with like their absolute best foot forward. So if they're showing up with barely bare minimum now, it is not getting better. So try it. Offer up to the universe. Hey, universe, what's blocking me? How do I release this block? Show me how to release the block. Help me release the block instead of trying to do it your own. Like, throw it out there that way. And then just like let it go, trusting that you'll get the answer, you'll get the information, the work will happen. Whenever I ask, like when I threw it out there, I was like, why am I blocked in this area? What is wrong? Why am I feeling so stuck? And it was within a couple of days, like that epiphany came to me. It wasn't like, but sometimes it's a conversation, sometimes it's a video, and sometimes those happen really quickly. It just happens. So with some of the stuff that's happening to me, it's like, I know it's more future going to come in. I'm like, oh, when's it going to happen? And I stopped doing that. I was like, you know what? I'm looking around at all these opportunities for this thing to come in and for this thing to happen. And it's like, it could happen in a million different ways. And instead of trying to force it to happen through one route, I'm just going to like, whatever. I know what's going to happen. There's a million different possibilities of how this could come in. And I'm just going to let it happen and just trust the universe that they will bring it to me. It's guaranteed to come in. We'll see how it happens. Won't that be exciting? Okay. Kay, what's your question? And then Allie, do you have another question? You're welcome, Nicole. And I wish that people would just show up and be amazing. But I think, again, remember what I said like a while ago, like to Devery and stuff, that like, I think I said this in general to everybody, that like men are going through their own kind of awakening moment where they're like going to be doing the work over the next 18 months to work on some healing. A lot more men will be doing this. A lot more men are going to start being exposed to things and realizing that they have to do the work too. And I'm just doodling while I'm talking because sometimes it helps me get out of my brain instead of my doubting mind. But is this coming through? And I know I should be looking at you, but whatever. If you knew me in real life, I don't look at you that much anyway. I would distract myself. So what messages? Oh, yes. What messages does Kodak have for you? I'm sorry. I didn't remember that. Okay. And then Allie, if you have a second question. Did he do like a reverse sneeze a lot? I don't know if I asked that before, but it's like, that's what I keep hearing. Like I keep feeling I'm choking on something. I'm kind of doing a reverse sneeze a little bit. And are you having allergies or stuffy nose right now? Because he's making me feel like he's talking about allergies. I feel like he got them and you got them too. I don't know why, but it feels like it's bothering you right now. Like you're stuffy or. You both did. You are. Okay, perfect. He's saying this. I don't know if it's like you used to do like, I feel like there should be a humidifier that maybe you haven't put out that you normally like you did with him and you haven't put it out. But I also feel like there's something about like wiping your nose more, like either maybe you need to wipe your face when you come in from outside but he's like talking about wiping your nose more. You had COVID. Okay. Yuck. I hope you feel better. He said he's concerned about a cat. Do you have a cat right now? And by the way, if you're wondering, what am I writing? I'm just writing his name over and over and erasing it and rewriting it. And I just snorted. So congratulations to you that you got to hear me snort. My grandmother's cat is the only cat around me. Okay. So I feel like he's concerned about the cat. And I don't feel like he's jealous, but I feel like the cat is a little bit more mischievous. It's reminding me of, and I don't think the cat is literally this way, but you know the cats from Lady and the Tramp? How they're just kind of like doing little things. I feel like he's like, that cat's a little mischievous. Snorting's a boxer thing. Oh, did he snort? He was a good boy. Oh, little troublemaker, but not much. Okay, well, he's concerned about that. He feels like it's like the cat knows what it's doing. I feel like he's like making me feel like the cat would steal, like, I'm going to give you this example to show this, but like when we had at a point, we had a cat and a dog when I lived with my dad. I mean, we had a couple cats and a dog. We had lots of animals when I lived with him. But at one point, there was a specific cat and dog. And the dog was a littler dog. He was a Bichon Frise. And the cat jumped on the counter and stole a steak off the counter and dragged and got to the ground. And they were both eating the steak together on the ground. So it was like a little Bonnie and Clyde thing. And I just feel like the cat would steal a little bit of fish or steal like off of your plate. Like, so it feels like watch your food. He's not talking much about your singing. Like, I still feel like he's being more protective of you than like, yeah, that. But like, let's talk about these other things that she needs to do to take care of herself and watch out for this cat. Excuse my yawn. Why am I tired this afternoon, you say? I'll tell you why. Because yesterday wore me out energetically and everything. I loved the people. So I like I know the parents in my middle daughter's troop better. And it's a nice set of parents. They're a lot of fun. So it was the people who went were nice. It was like fun to hang out with them and chat. And the parents that are in my younger daughter's troop are nice too. The leaders, they're very nice. I just don't know them as well. And I hung out kind of like at the other troop because I know them better. And it was just funny because it was four moms. We stopped at a diner on the way home because it was about an hour drive home and the kids were hungry. They hadn't eaten yet. We were hungry. And then the dad, and he has a partner, and they have four little girls he adopted, and three of them were there that day. And it was just funny because he was sitting at the head of the table and the other parent, like the moms, and then it was the moms and then all the kids down at the end of the table. And we were, I don't know, it was just funny. Funny. Haha. Does he have any message for you directly about me? No, I just feel like he's concerned about you being sick and not taking care of yourself the right way. Like, I feel like he was really paid attention and was very, they call it like simpatico. Like he just like would like really, when you were sick, he would like really make sure you were watching over you and taking care of you. And he's concerned about this cat being mischievous and taking your food. He is a much more innocent energy than like when you talk to people and they're like, oh, this is the message. Cause I feel like he doesn't feel like, oh, I didn't get taken care of or I wasn't loved. It's not that at all. I feel like he's like, okay, like you need to take care of yourself. Here's what I'm seeing you not do. Sorry, I keep yawning. But there's no like, I hate to say like, oh, there's this big message. It just feels like he's being protective of your health. Like he can't protect you like right now. He's just wanting to make sure you're okay. And then also this cat. Watch out for that sneaky cat. Okay. Well, so he's still protecting you. Still protecting you. And of course, and I will say this, like when you're like, oh, is he hearing you singing? I'm like, I don't know. He doesn't want to talk about, like, he's not really addressing that. It doesn't mean he doesn't hear it. It's just he really wanted to specifically, these are the issues I'm focusing on. And I feel like that's almost more important to hear, because anybody, you could ask a question, anybody go, yeah, he hears it. I'm giving you things that I didn't know about was going on. So that way, you know, he's around. Gia, if you want to ask your question. Yeah, take better care of yourself. You should. You're welcome. Thank you for trusting me. Gia, what's your question? So the dad who was in this group, his partner is builds costumes for like some Broadway productions and movies and some of the Disney parks and stuff like that. And he was telling us this story. He's like, "Oh my God, this is so amazing." He's like, his partner got called, he's like, to Paris to do something for Cher. As I guess he's worked with her in the past, and so there was some issue that came up, and so he got called to Paris to go work. So he's like, my partner is over in Paris, and I'm doing like drop off and pick up and after school stuff. Okay, Gio, what do I see coming up for you career wise? So I know this is weird. This is going to be more symbolic, I believe. I saw like a whale breaching and like doing the blowhole thing and then breaching out of the water. So I don't know if you're my feeling is like either traveling for work where I'm going where there's these whales. I think this might be humpback, but I could be wrong. It could be a gray whale because I don't know exactly. So it feels like northern west coast. So um sorry for cracking my neck. I want to look at a map. I'm leaning towards Northern California, but it could be up in the Washington area. And you're like, Anna, why wouldn't you know this offhand? Because I sucked at geography. I did. I did. It's interesting because I don't feel like it's Oregon. I'm leaning towards it being more Northern California. Is there anything you would travel to that region or go to that region? I also saw something about doing wine tasting. I definitely think it's up in the Northern California area. What do you do? Do you mind me asking? A customer service job. So maybe that's a trip coming up. Or the only other thing I could think of is like maybe it's a company that has like maybe you start working for a company. Because I feel like you're looking for jobs. I don't feel like you're staying where you're at. So maybe it's a company that has like this whale breaching as part of their logo, or like on their website. Like it may not be their logo, but it may be like on their website, like on a front page, like in a collage of pictures or something like that. I didn't look at your address on your PayPal or anything, but I feel like are you in the Southwest region? It definitely could be something that hasn't happened yet. I'm so sorry for all of my yawning. You're in New Jersey? Well, hi. I feel like being drawn to something in the Southwest region for you, like Arizona, Vegas area. So I also feel like you're going to be more front and center in what you do. So like maybe right now you're doing a lot of like in a call center or something like that, doing customer service that way. But I feel like I'm more front and center. Like I'm meeting with people there, I'm a face for a brand or something like that. Like I don't know, it doesn't feel like I'm on a phone or I'm on a computer. I definitely don't see you staying where you're at. And there's an energy here. I feel like it might be a grandmother but saying like you're too pretty to not be seen. Are you looking up? You are, yeah. You may not be staying in New Jersey, I guess is my sense. Are you looking to leave New Jersey? You're not. This job may take you out of New Jersey. But it might just be more traveling. It might not be for good. Oh, it could be that. And that could take you traveling. But they're not showing me you singing, but I feel like I felt like, I know this sounds weird, and this might be like the Las Vegas, Arizona area thing, but I'm leaning more towards it being Las Vegas. But like I saw you with lots of makeup on and in like a nice dress, like very dressed up and looking nice and like meeting with people. Not like, and like, this is gonna sound dumb the way I'm seeing it, but it's not meant to be that way. It's just like maybe it's just put you on a stage. But you know how like when you go to like car shows or whatever, there'll be like somebody on it, like a woman dressed up on a stage. Like it was a feeling of being dressed up on a stage and like meeting people, but it's not huge venues, but it feels like it's people. So it definitely could be that. Okay. All right. And if it happens, let me know. And I feel like that's within the year. I don't feel like that's next year. So I feel like things are going to start moving within the year. You're welcome, Gia. Julia, talk to me. And Ali, are you still here? Or did you leave? My question regarding Jen, is she my best? Wait, Jen is your best friend who died 6 years ago. I'm just wondering if she has a message for me or any advice I need. She always my first call for advice. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. me see. Okay, 10. So I'm seeing somebody with like dark curly hair. So it's either brown or like almost it's probably about my color, maybe slightly lighter. And she has smaller, tighter curls. They're not as, clumped together. They feel like they're a smaller curl. Um, Smaller than mine, not like uber tiny. I kept feeling like a heaviness in my chest. And it doesn't feel like lungs. Maybe breasts. I just feel like a heavierness. And I feel like you've known her for a long time because the picture she showed me is almost like a high school picture. She passed from colonic cancer. Did it spread to the lungs then? Or would it have spread up here? Or colon cancer? Did I read colonic? Should be colon. That petty. Do you know if it metastasized up here into the lungs or into this area? Because there was a heaviness in the chest. It's probably from our young farmer's ball. Yeah. Um, She's making me feel like you need to take care of your teeth. So I feel like there's something dental going on, like with your upper. I'm leaning towards upper right, but I also feel an awareness in my upper rear back molar, but it's not as significant as what's going on over here. And it just feels like you need to take care of this and not ignore it. She ended up with it spreading everywhere. Okay. So I feel like when it was here, this is what sort of was the ending. So I feel like this, maybe you're putting it off because of finances or something else. You just had a molar repaired 3 weeks ago. Okay. Because it's like, you need to let's talk about this. I keep hearing she's happy. When you're like, oh, this is what's going on. It's really hard. I wouldn't know what to do or whatever. And I literally feel like, and I know she was young when she died, but it feels like you need to drink more. And I'm not telling you to drink more because there's no benefit from alcohol, like, right. But I just feel like she's kind of like, you need to relax a little bit and just stop worrying so much. Have you been having problems with your right ear as well? Hi, Rockton. It's been a while. How are you? How's your mom doing? She would say that too. Your ear is swollen tonight. Okay. I'm like, "Ugh, why does that hurt?" Wah." She's also making jokes that I guess you used to talk about when you were older and how, like, you'd go to bed early, like, joking around like, "Oh, I hope we're never that way," and it's like, you're doing that now, and she's just kinda joking around about, like, making fun of you a little bit. But it's also this, like, I'm glad you made it to be old enough to do that, to, like, be too tired to go out, to be, your daughter just put your studs in? Okay, because 'cause I'm like, "What's with my ear?" If you've ever wondered, like, if we didn't party so much, maybe she'd still be there, and she literally just said it was like, "Nope, I had a predisposition to it. It wasn't because I drank and partied and did all this stuff. It was like it was there, and I feel like it was there a lot longer, um, than anyone knew, and it's a feeling of her having a predisposition to it." Allie, are you still here? Did I answer all your questions? She got diagnosed at stage 4, yeah, so it's like, I feel like she had it for a long time, and it was like, but I feel like also she had a predisposition. It wasn't, like, because of her lifestyle, it's, like, almost like she might have been one of those people who, like, have you heard of those people who are like, they're like, "Oh, I've had 5 different kinds of cancer." It's like, for whatever reason, your cells are set up for it. I also feel like, so it's like I asked if she was denied, like, because of her age, if people just ignored her, and I feel like there was a little bit of that, like, a little bit of medical gaslighting, but I also feel like she ignored a lot of symptoms for a long time, like, just thinking, "Oh, it'll go away," and also a little bit out of fear and kind of, being a little embarrassed. She is happy. Her doctor didn't actually believe her. Yeah, so it's like I felt like I said there was a little bit of that, but I also feel like she kind of avoided it before she went to the doctor. And unfortunately, now they're figuring out that people are getting diagnosed younger and younger with colon cancer. I think that's because we don't have enough fiber in our diets. So eat your fiber. And she was scared too, which is what I said. So she's okay. And why am I doodling? I don't know. She's okay. I heard, and you'll be okay too. She's joking that she's like ringing a bell for you to come and be of service to her. So it's like there might be something with bells ringing, and that's like a connection with her. Oh, she always doodles. I'm like, why can't I stop doodling? This feels so rude. There you go. That's how it works. Okay. I love you too. Thank you so much for your support. And I think that's it. I think everybody got their readings. I think you're the last one. I don't think there's anybody else here. It's just you and me. So I guess I'm going to close up shop for the night unless anybody else just happens to pop on for 2 seconds and they're like, hello. Um, Hang on. Let me check my PayPal. Alrighty then. I guess that's it, y'all. That's a wrap. Where can you put validation? You can actually, if you go on my website and get my little phone number on my website, and you can text me, and then I can post it. That would be even better than just putting it here, because I don't get that much traffic here. I get more traffic over on other channels, and I can post it. That would be really helpful for me. Any kind of feedback would be great. So thank you so much. You have a great week, and I will see you guys next weekend.